Someone's joined in already. That was pretty quick. Hello to whoever is watching. Just out having a wee stroll with my doggy. On my own. Get some air around the head. See if anybody's awake. These late hours. Sometimes late at night, I think a lot more than I usually do. Sometimes when I'm in this mode, I tend to want to do videos, but never usually do. Hello, Foxy Dog. Hello there, Kiefer. Hope I got that right there. So what am I at? I'm just out having a wee dander. Wee walkies with a wee muddy, a wee doggo, before Sharia law comes and bans it. Jesse, you know the score. Wee power wasting job just to do tomorrow, so it's a bit of a... If one of wee workers there, he's on my YouTube, or he got the notification, so he's sitting watching there, Jesse. You have a wee lie in tomorrow. I think it's to be another sunny day. So yeah. Just out trying to get some air around the head and just go over things that have been happening over the last year. But we're not going to cover the whole of the last year in one night. Sort of maybe go back further than a year in regards to what's happening in 2025. I thought the 2025 would be moving about, navigating our ways about in flying cars. No, definitely not. All these things that are, you know, I gotta say, falsely promised to us by, doesn't matter which government you want to say, which government you want to point the finger at, because they're all the same. You've always been distracted with the coins, with the unspun jewelers, the old dollar, you know. I mean, why, really, if they're just one person, to think that their decisions really fuck the rest of the country up? You just see in the background there behind me, maybe not. One of the hard on the move cranes. Maybe could have walked around, you know, it's a 10-minute walk from the area I live at. So, obviously what happened today, I was live on Facebook because that's for I've always done it on Facebook, folks, for years. Even during the COVID years, I was always on Facebook doing my videos, live videos, because I was never really one to want to try and push myself out there. But I did like to give information I could give, at least, to people regarding certain things. You see, the thing about me is when I'm seeking information, it comes to me from all places. Comes to me from all places, you know, it's messages sent and my inbox is never empty. I'm always going through, and on Facebook, with YouTube, some might say is a bit of a bigger, broader range to reach out to with, say, me. You know, on Facebook, I'm known as the Great Province-Wide Protest, N.I. So if none of you are on that Facebook page, search it out, get on there, give it a like, go in and hit the wee 3 dots beside your message box on the page and invite 1,000 of your friends and let them hear what I have to say. I believe in moving forward lawfully with our own lawful communities, many communities many people all united. I've always been about uniting the Protestants and Catholics because I knew the only way we had a chance to, well, that's sort of my, at least naive and slow things down. You know, it's time for our revelations. It's time for us to reveal all that's going on and all those involved in manipulating our minds to think how they want us to think. They want us to think that it's okay for our children to take puberty blockers, think it's okay for our children to get story times read to them from men that like to act as women. It's all good, fair and well for entertainment purposes, you know. When it was, let's say, yes, everybody's been to it, haven't they? Everybody went to Benidorm for the sex shows is what they used to call them, you know. I was never shy of the old end, but here in Belfast, for those that aren't from Northern Ireland, I'm in Belfast of Northern Ireland. I live in East Belfast. Many years ago, in my teens, my late teens, I was never shy of running about in the likes of Space. Those clubs that opened at 6 o'clock in the morning had all the cultures. We always drank together. Protestants, Catholics, gays, cross-dressers. There was always a bit of crack. But now it's not the crack that it used to be. The streets aren't what they used to be, folks. You know, I remember a day it was safe to walk about up and down your streets and not have to worry. There was a day when it was okay, you could have left your door open all night, sometimes. Is that Keith? What's happening, Mr. Fannin? It is Mr. Baker. Just seen a boy cycling down his bike here. Wait till you hear this here first story, folks. This gentleman here, how many years ago was it the paper wrote about you?
About 15.
You're not heading back up a Glencairn, are you?
No,
That's some fucking cycle, man.
I was in Dundonald.
Dundonald? What's going on up in Dundonald? So here, folks, I'll not tell you. Are you alright for people to see you? No, right. What actually happened was, what year was it?
About 2013.
About 2013, and I know this lot of grew up, but this lot up at Glencairn where I'm originally from. I wasn't just bumping into you here. And when was it, 10 days ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, we sat and spoke about this up at Glencairn. So he's just cycling home from Dundonald, folks, to Glencairn. You're probably talking a good 8-mile cycle. Was it 8 miles?
Probably.
Yeah. So anyway, about 13, 14 years ago, this lad was come out, and he basically gave a statement out saying that, what exactly was it again?
Why should we let people's beliefs rule the rest of us? Religion belongs at home in church. If the EDL invented a god and became a religion, would we have to respect their beliefs too?
Hey, so you heard that there. That was basically what he had says. And what paper was it? The Sun. Oh, we all know what the Sun's like, don't we? And dodgy Sun reporters are always spinning swindle and fudge against the people of Liverpool in particular. So yeah, what a coincidence. No, so I'm just walking around here. I'm actually on YouTube live. I've decided to start going on the YouTube because there's a bit of a broader range, you know, a bit of a bigger reach.
You have to watch what you say on there.
You know, you have to watch what you say and all of them. But listen, the beautiful thing about me, Keith, is I don't say anything wrong. You know, all those things I say I can prove because it's happening. No, well, listen, they're going to lock all of us up at one point or another, aren't they? Oh, look at that. Wonder are they down looking for me? Our police van was just on its way down there. I'm actually just outside the wee massage parlour. Just down the street from a well-known massage parlour here, and a wee police van drove down, just done a U-turn there. I'm wondering if I'm going to get done for walking my dog and talking to an old mate from school days. Oh, mucker, what's the chances? Yeah, how's the form anyway? Well, you're shattered and that's surprised. You probably cycled 8 miles over to Dundonald too, did you?
I keep pretending I'm getting you over while I'm getting older. Stop the boats, no more in and get them all out.
Stop the boats, no more in, get them all out, as he just says there walking away. So, yeah. You heard what he said there. I actually can't remember. It's just, I'm still in disbelief that the boy I grew up with, he lives fucking 6 miles away from here at least, and he just cycled past me on the Newton Ards Road here. Unreal. So yeah, it was actually 13 years ago, I think he said there, that he had made this statement that you heard earlier on. I'll have to go back and look back over it to get it again. And the paper, The Sun, decided to do an article on it because he had said it. It was something along the lines of what you heard there. You know, why should we take a religion that's forced upon us? Crazy times. But even as you've seen is YouTube, you have to watch what you're saying. I don't know, what am I saying? I'm just speaking to you, the people. Yes, John, we are the people. Escape. Thoughts on the Annabelle doll. Escape. Enlighten me, tired child. I'm very busy this last couple of months with work. I do a bit of landscape gardening. And I do a lot of running about protests, helping push protests, because I believe it is our fundamental right to protest against tyrannical governments, tyrannical politicians, false representatives who don't represent the people. They never have. Only the people can present themselves. That's how it works in this world. In your own individual capacity, you need to stand on your own 2 feet. Deny them their old tactics of swaying and directing you away from who you are. You're a child of God. You've all been chosen to be here this time now for a reason. So, I just drifted off here. I think I was talking about a protest that was rallied up sometime this afternoon. The people from East Belfast once again come out in numbers to show their solidarity and their support for those that are walking the streets and keeping their communities safe from potential predators, potential rapists that only like to rape right people. The type that you never get details of. You know, remember maybe back in the time, used to get mugshots straight away if there was a criminal running about, let's say, a wanted criminal. And speaking of which, I'll be posting something in the morning. I'm going to do a video of it. I've been alerted to a convicted paedophile living somewhere around the Woodstock Road. And from what I hear, this paedophile has been goading people in the streets and goading people to hit him. Apparently, I'm led to believe that some people have actually recognised this man, and it is those he is trying to goad to hit him. So I'm going to be making some more inquiries to find out exactly what the situation is here and why this man is allowed to live in East Belfast. You can see the moon's in its waning phase. Waning out of its old cycle. Back to refresh itself. So yeah, today, there was a post put out about a rally, a gathering in solidarity with the walkers of East Belfast, those that are out to keep the community safe, as there seems to be a media witch hunt on these people anyway. I mean, what can I say? These groups are appearing all over the place. Carrick, there's one in Bangor, Shankle. Shankle covers quite a big range, so the Shankle could maybe do with more numbers to create another group to walk. You know, a group that covers the bottom half of the Shankle, a group that covers the top half of the Shankle. Because these grifters on our streets committing these heinous fucking born acts against our people. They're not from our communities. They don't live in our communities, because if they did, they would have been found very quickly by the community. Because that's how it used to roll, folks. You know, gone are the days when there was a sex offender in your area and there was a protest to get rid of them. But those days are coming back. Do I like cheeseburgers, James Doe? I used to cook cheeseburgers. That makes anything to you? I used to cook cheeseburgers. See, are you able to get a bigger speaker and megaphone for the protest? Yes, Foxy lad, I've got one organised there. I have some good supportive donors. How's it going? I'm alright. I'm just doing a wee test run on a live on YouTube here. Just to see how it goes. Just try and get the channel going. Good. Brilliant turnout. It was good to see the response coming from such short notice. Well, C.S. Lewis Square we ended up in. Did you? There's many saying. Well, yeah, well, I'm collecting them all in at the end of the month here. So, have you not? Right. I've got one in the car. I'll stop in by and get you to sign it, sure. Oh, well. I was round one night, but everybody was out for some reason. Alright, see you later. So, yeah, it's just some people live in the street there. Sorry, folks. Some people live in the street that are pretty much awake to what's going on in this country. You know, it seems a two-tier justice system. And for Mr. Nolan to have the cheek to come out and talk about justice when it comes to minorities. But when you favour a minority over the majority or the dominant people of said areas, communities, towns that you talk of, you know, when it comes down to it, these people are just concerned, rather. They're just concerned parents, concerned residents. And the only way they see of getting a real justice back in order again is by policing their own streets. When you have teething problems, you're always going to have teething problems with situations like this. And it's from those teething problems lessons be learnt. I mean, the police force wasn't the most perfect of police forces when they first started. And I'm not implying that they're the most perfect police force now, you know, but as I always say, some of those officers in their own individual capacities in the PSNI, terrible outfit, by the way, terrible organisation at the top and the hierarchical side of things when it comes to that organisation. And basically, they're a paramilitary, aren't they? You know, they're the ones that control us, the people, with their guns, let's say. Is it not only right that they're the only terrorists left in the country? But that's not having a dig at use PSNI officers, because I know a lot of you understand the trouble that we're in. And you just have to bear with me, folks. What I'm doing is I'm going into the house here and I'm going to exchange dogs. And then the other one has to go for a walk. Because when I walk the two of them together, Lily, my bitch, it's just a wee bit hyper. Lily! Come on, girl. Hill. Hill. See, I just have to keep repeating Hill with her. Hill, Hill, Hill. All without being distracted with the boy knocking about. So, where was I? Maybe get back to it. Yeah, again, good turnout. C.S. Lewis Square. Good to see Freedom Dad on the scene. And Lisa giving a good bit of a speech. Bit of advice on how the protests are to go up. Let's just say, lovely, peacefully, no antagonising the police that are there, because you will only play into their hands by causing an argument or disturbance of the peace. Neighbourhood watch. Yeah, I'm sure we did have a neighbourhood watch, did we not? Remember certain areas Used to go about walking with dogs and used to see wee signs like that, neighbourhood watch. And the watch is all gone, isn't it? Isn't the convicted pedo on the Woodstock Road being forced out? Well, I don't know. I've just actually I've only just came across this information a day or two ago. As I said, so I'll have to make some more inquiries tomorrow. And my work this week is just wee jobs, so I'm freeing myself up a bit of time before I start another big project next week. But yeah, it's still being forced out. I don't know. There's some complications there from what I hear. Again, I'll not go into too much detail as I don't want to give out any real information as the real location. So I'll find out tomorrow and see what comes of it, basically. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you for the sub. Yeah, the Brotherhood. What is happening? The Brotherhood. Yeah, more civil being neighbourhood watch. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really think there was anything wrong with these Belfast night watch. That's what it was. Go ahead, mate. On you. Sit, Lily. Hey, sit. Hey, sit. There's another dog walking around about patrolling the streets. Hope you're out keeping the streets safe, man. Yeah. I mean, it's sort of funny because I don't mean that it's funny, really. But when I think back and look back, you know, the COVID years, many people went out and bought a dog for an excuse to get out of the house. Out walking my dog, officer. Out walking the dog. You know, 10 dogs, and dog walkers. There's only a small few of them now. And I mean, the night patrol that's out there with their dogs, I support that wholeheartedly because I remember sharing an image 10 years ago that was put up in a park somewhere in England, and the image said about dogs not being welcome in that park. And that was somewhere in England. I can't remember. It was 10 years ago. The only reason I remember now is because someone else shared it recently to make out that it was a recent thing that was found in a park. And, you know, I was able to share the picture, the exact same picture I shared 10 years ago to show that it was an old image. But anyway, that's jostling on a bit and dragging out a bit. Whatever the main point is, yeah. So the dog walking, I fully support the dog walking because let's just say there could be a chance that at some point there could be some groups of people that might not want us here in Northern Ireland to walk our dogs or allow us to walk our dogs. Seen it a long time ago. I mean, the thing about me, folks, I know some of you on YouTube will not be on the other social medias, but the thing about me is I've always kept myself to myself. I always tried to be a ghost, just run about and live life in the shadows, normal life, quiet life, until 2020. I always knew something was going to happen, I just didn't know exactly why. And I mean, it is exactly as they've told us, Agenda 2020, 2030. Many people have been banging on about it for a long time, many years. And it wasn't really until 2020 came when it, you know, the revealing finally happened, when they came out with that COVID nonsense. They manipulated everybody into thinking they had to take their trial vaccine because they don't do trials in these vaccines. They just make these vaccines up in a matter of days, and they convince the people that they're good for them. Remember, you've got to save Granny. Remember the buzzwords that they used on us to manipulate us through fear. Nothing short of what they're doing now, only now it is, seems like it's full steam ahead, doesn't it? You know, since Labour's come into power alone, they tell us there's about 50,000 boat people have came here illegally. Lily, hey, Hill, Hell, they say that they've came here illegally, but we know we can't trust the numbers that even the mainstream media is putting out there. We know that they lie about their numbers. We know that they've lied about these people coming here, telling us that they're refugees or asylum seekers, when quite clearly they are not. Quite clearly, they're definitely not asylum seekers. They're not coming here because of war-torn pillaging that's going on in their countries. And let's face it, the ones that are creating all the pillaging and annexing of their own countries are the same ones that are here, staying here. Sleeper cells, I like to call them. You know, some of them have assimilated into society, but it does not mean that they do not want to be part of a plan to conquer or maybe take over the world. Nice to see some people ahead. I wonder if that the wee walking crew. Maybe one of the walking crews. So I'm just walking up the wee pathway that takes you up to where we were standing earlier on at the protest anyway, and I see a group of lads walking down towards me. Where was I? So, yeah, I mean, let's face it, where we're at now, certain reports have been coming out about a certain plan for our schools, certain barbaric behaviour to happen of our little ones. But that can only happen if our little ones are at school. And I mean, for years I've always looked in the numbers that some of these occultists would have been associated with, let's say. And 9/11 for a start, September 11th is the closest date that springs to mind, but the one after that is October the 7th. And we all know what happened on October the 7th. All right, boys? I'm on YouTube live here.
Yeah.
Well, what's the crackers?
Nothing much. Just
You-
patrolling the streets.
You're patrolling the streets? Serious after what the media said about you?
Oh, what to say?
Aye, the media's trying to make out that you are a bunch of bad people.
We're no bad people.
And I actually know all these boys, and this is, I mean, you've seen I was out walking my first dog there, and I'm taking them out separately, so I'm out with a second one, so it's good to see it. You're out doing the job still, lads.
Have to keep a community
Oh,
clean,
100%. I'll walk back down this way. I'll take a wee seat. What's happening? Stephen, you all good? All right, my man. You all good?
Okay.
Well, it's one of them. This is the bitch. This is the crazy bitch. That strong bitch likes to pull and hustle and all the usual. So where have you been? He's just left the meeting point, or?
Yeah. Right, mate.
All right, mama. You take it easy.
Yes, mate.
Good to see you out too. Good to see you continuing on. Please go. Most of the lads away home. Where did you cover the night? Yeah, all quiet. Well, the pillars are right, but sure, what's happening is you're assisting. You know, because what way is it going to work? I mean, what is it to say? They're saying there's 4 units that they have out now, covering certain areas, each community. And what happens is there's an incident happens, and then they get that first call. So one has to go and investigate, while another unit has to prowl about, searching for the details that match the perpetrator, whatever crime it may be, is committed. What's happening, Jason? You all good, bro?
All good. Came down here to get into the bath, man. Long night.
Don't blame me. Take it easy, bro. So yeah, what was I talking about?
The areas and things.
Yeah. So you know, they're doing the communities, walking the communities, and like I said, there was a group of 6 of them there, dogs with them. I'm the only one out with a dog on it, because I believe it's our right to walk our dogs. You know,
Absolutely, mate.
that's not just.
Absolutely, without fear of being stabbed.
All right, you take it easy, Mama. So it's good to see that some of the people of East Belfast aren't. Hey, thank you. Hey, it's good to see that some of the people of East Belfast are not swayed in any way by what the media are saying about them, or the old usual dividing tactic that they'll use. They want to portray those that want to keep their community safe as villains, as vigilantes. I don't like to use this word because it's a buzzword that buzzes around everywhere as racists. You know, a word that they like to use to deflate everything that these people are trying to stand for. And as I said earlier in my video, yeah, teething problems. You're always going to get teething problems with things like this happening. I mean, you only have to look back to the 70s and the last civil rights movement, how that operated. You know, those people come out, protected their communities, and it was lawful. See something, say something, isn't that what the police say? The problem is our communities have lost a lot of faith in the police after the way they treated us, after the way those officers, as I called all of them, and how they operated and dealt with situations over all the years of the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. Let's get it right. You know, relationships that just broke down completely. I, for one, completely lost all trust and faith in the PSNI because of the actions of a couple of twats. I think one of them was Officer McKee. For some reason, it's the only name that sticks in my head. But anyway, that's irrelevant. That was years ago, and things are gone. I would like to think if I bumped into Officer McKee, he would this time use his own discretion instead of doing what he was told. So, yeah, just went off on one again there. Sort of lost myself in the whole, I don't know, what ifery, what aboutery. You know, what if there's a jihad called on the 11th of September by, let's say, Iran? Let's just use Iran because it can be proven that the leader of Iran has stated that he will wake up his sleeper cells and call for fucking mass jihad. You know, and let's not forget the reports that I spoke about in previous couple of videos back there, where what they're going to do on our schools, what they're going to do on our little ones. And people keep telling me to watch what I say on here, I'm just not going to say it. You know, because there is a big reach on here. And people say about X. Why do I not use X? Because there's a big reach there. You see, I'm kind of suspicious on that there. It used to be Twitter. You know, all the twits would have tweeted on Twitter. And, you know, I think it was the timing of it was just between Elon Musk ban over Twitter and the riots in England breaking out. Remember the posts on X? And what is X? Well, X is the symbol of Osiris. You want to go into their sort of ancient mythology and their deities that they worshipped. Osiris was the highest, wasn't it? So yeah, it's the X. When it came, the X platform, it just made me weary of it. And let's not forget what happened in Southport. I called it Southend in the video earlier on, but what I actually meant was Southport. You know, where that choir boy just brutally mutilated, sort of in the style of what happened on October the 7th, when Hamas went into Rafah and mutilated over 1,000 festival goers. You know, and yeah, and the reply by Israel, yes, was extreme. I've no doubt that innocent people died, but why did innocent people die? Because they were not evacuated by those that run Hamas. And this is just my personal views, folks. I mean, I don't side with any of them. You know, I don't believe in any wars at all. I always believe in peaceful resolution. Resolving matters peacefully. It's always what I've believed in my heart should be the way of any world leader. It's the only way these people should be in power if that's what they believe in. Our politicians here in Northern Ireland do not believe in peace. If they believed in peace, you can be sure that these people in power would not be in power and storm on Parliament buildings. Now, I did have one of my protests organised for Stormont on the 16th of July here, but a couple of people had reached out to me, one from East Side organisation, can't remember the name, and a police officer had reached out and got a message to me anyway asking me to change the date. But after speaking to some friends about the situation, I decided to cancel Stormont this Saturday. So anyone watching this video, and still aren't aware of what's happening with Stormont is cancelled this Saturday. And instead of going to Stormont, we are going to Chimney Corner. We're going to go to the Chimney Corner this Saturday at 2 p.m. And for those that know about the Chimney Corner, when we're going to the Chimney Corner, there's a lot of works going on, some crazy kind of works going on that motorway, and there will be, as I say, time delays due to traffic. So if you're going to the Chimney Corner at 2 o'clock, leave early. Make sure you get there. Make sure you get parked close to the protest. I mean, I think the police are aware now. Chief Constable Butcher, I think you're well aware now that I don't want trouble. These protests are perfectly peaceful and perfectly lawful. And they will continue to be that way. As anyone that follows me and knows where I come from, which is my heart, that peaceful resolution is always a way forward. Maybe I should have used the term peaceful revolution, peaceful lawful dissent. But our societies, our cultures have been programmed and browbeaten for so long that the people don't really know their rights. They don't know that these are things they can do as long as they are done correctly and right. So I don't like to give too much out on my videos. I like to keep them for wee short bursts. But what I will say on this one, I'm going to do a video in the morning there, reaching out there. I'm looking for the lady in red. If anyone of you remember the lady in red that was at the 10 Square Hotel that day that stood beside me, the lady in red, it was a black American lady. She stood beside me and I heard this lady spoke, and you could feel this lady was speaking from the heart. She knew what she was saying. She knew the people she was speaking against. And if any of you remember this lady, if you can get me in touch with this lady in red. Yeah. Seemed like a powerful woman, someone that I would like to, say, converse with, chat with, to hear what she has to say about those on the left who like to stand and oppose us who are only standing up for our children's futures, or our grandparents' right to live a life out, our own right to live and age out as we do. You know, I'm in my mid-40s now, folks, and, you know, I always sort of relished the idea of living old. Never really thought it would have been something that I would have enjoyed, but having children changes you. It changes you as a man, it changes you as a woman. It should do. If it doesn't, you maybe shouldn't have children. I find it's funny that not funny, sorry, maybe that's the wrong word. I find it ironic, maybe, that these people, all these people, biggest percentage, majority of them have children. But yet those who attack these people out walking the streets don't have children. They don't understand that physical bond that exists inside you to do what needs to be done, anything that needs to be done to protect their children and their futures. And the messages that are coming out where our school children, and ones in England that are set up for this school of sanctuary, for a city of sanctuary organisation, what is this, another pedophile grooming organisation, is it? I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but based on what is being spat out here, it needs to be stopped. And only we, the people, united, can stop this, folks. You know, there's no politician there that's going to step up on top of the parapet and say, yo, enough's enough. Only we, the people, can do that. And if these politicians, all of them, all across the board, whether it's Westminster, Stormont, House of fucking Lords, doesn't matter. If these people are not doing things for the betterment of us, the people of these countries, if they are favouring minorities and buzzword ethnic minorities, as they like to call it, to directly take your attention to, that's not saying nothing, it might be racist. Well, no. When they're favouring ethnic minorities over the dominant, let's say, peoples of this land, that's reverse discrimination. It's exactly what that is. And these politicians know what they're doing because they use their legalese language, the bastardized language, which is spelling. They are casting spells on all you the people with their spelling. Yeah, that's what they do. It's legalese, they don't teach you it. What they do is teach you your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s. They don't teach you your legalities. If they had taught us law growing up, maybe we wouldn't be so quick to break the law, because nobody has a clue what the 8 million acts, statutes, legislations are. Nobody has a clue what one of them is over 8 million, and that goes out to all those fucking barristers and solicitors, all part of the bar society. Those who are creaming and filling their pockets off this whole immigration shit. I remember 6 months ago, maybe it was, hearing that some solicitors were getting up to $4,000 just for processing one asylum claim, which, when I heard was rejected, they get shipped out to Northern Ireland via private taxi. Just some stories I'm hearing. I heard another story recently there where a lad, a black lad, and I don't mean that as a racist, he genuinely, well, maybe he was light brown, okay? But the lad was a new resident, was having a chat with him, nice genuine chat, nice to meet you, new neighbour kind of thing. And the lad told me that he's the only one in the lower part of the Newton Arch Road that's bought his house. I was gobsmacked. I was like, what? What do you mean, you're the only one that's bought your house? He says, yeah, I'm the only one that has bought my house. Now, I'm terrible at impersonating, you know, the fella. He was a foreign fella, but he seemed nice enough. I just wanted to meet him, say, how you doing? I'm Stephen. And yeah, that's what he said. He says he's the only one that has bought his property, but yet he's not living on it. Yeah, he's the only one in the area. I couldn't believe it. Gobsmacked, folks, absolutely gobsmacked. He, the only one in the area that owns his house. And it's just me, you know, I like to ask questions. Ask king, I'm the king of questions, you know. If I'm not saying no comment, I'm asking a question. And the lad told me, a solicitor told him, this man solicitor was selling this property, told him that he's the only one in the community that has bought his house. He believes that he's living in a council estate, you know, like fucking Shameless. That showed at the dawn. He believes he's living in a fucking Shameless council estate, and he's the only one with the wealth to buy a property. And it's an upstairs fucking 2-bedroom flat anyway, but listen, the thing about it is, there was himself and another 2 males in and out of the house, in and out of the house, and 1 white female. And, well, you know what I mean, bit of a nosy fucker I am. So I went to introduce myself, and the first one that I spoke to, he was a bit ignorant. And I asked him, many of you is living there? He said 1. He was telling the truth, but he wasn't telling the truth of who was in there. As one of them had parked outside a neighbour's house, right outside her living room, and sat and stared in the window of her living room. It was that neighbour that raised awareness of what was going on to me anyway. So just being me, just like to check out, you know, the old peaceful, concerned resident. So yeah, that was what this man told me. He told me that he's the only one in this council estate that has bought his house. I was gobsmacked. And is this the old rhetoric that these fuckers are using to get these people to buy houses? And here's the catch. He bought a flat here, Lower Newton Arch Road, but works in Antrim. Now, I wasn't too sure whether that factory that was mentioned in the video the other night, Moyes Park, was that Ballymena, or was that Antrim? Because Ballymena and Antrim sort of you know, have an invisible border between them, don't they? To separate them. Like to separate Northern Ireland and Ireland. So yeah, anyway, that's the second dog walk. We're now approaching 1 o'clock. Half an hour for the first dog and half an hour for the second dog. And probably bored you all to death with my old waffle here anyway. We did reach a peak there of 100 viewers not bad for probably only my 4th or 5th live in 10 years on YouTube. So I know we'll have a lot of old followers out here looking at this page and saying, who the F is N.I.disgruntled one? Well, I'm the Northern Ireland disgruntled one. And why am I the Northern Ireland disgruntled one? Because for years I have been absolutely upheaved and over fucking driven with just anger on what these politicians have been doing to our people. Every single one of us. I've known for years their plans on their world takeover, their new world order, their globalist corporate agendas. They believe they failed their first attempt, COVID, and they believe they are prepping us for the next one. And it's all being facilitated by Keir Starmer in particular. Keir Starmer is an enemy of the English people, not the British, the English people. England and Britain are two different things. Just like Northern Ireland is its own thing. People are Northern Irish, they're not British. You're Northern Irish. If anything, that's what you are. Without getting into real historical backdrops of who you really are. But yeah, we as a people, folks, we are here now for a reason. We're here to fight God's war. Those people running this realm that we live in, that we are to protect, they're going for a big push, folks. And it's time we all started making our friends aware. We make our neighbours aware. Tell anybody you know, if you have a voice, you scream it from the rooftops that the globalists and the WEF and the WHO, the EU and the UN, they're coming for our children, folks. This is why I do what I do. When I see any kind of fear-driven agendas that are aiming for our children, whether it be trans stories to puberty blockers to allowing children to decide what sex they want to be before they're allowed to smoke, before they're allowed to drive, before they're allowed to consume alcohol, they can decide what sex or gender they are. I'm all for people's free will. But when you're old enough to make them decisions, only then do you get your free will. When you're a child of God, you stick to the rules. That is my personal views on it. Personal views. And I know there's many different religions, but not all religions are peaceful religions. And that's that. So it's the end of my journey here. Like I say, I'm up for work in the morning. Just thought I would give YouTube a wee bite. I know it's late, to be honest. I didn't expect many to come on, but I like to have a wee chit chat. And what I'll actually do is I'm going to go in here with the dogs. So stay tuned with me. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read some of your comments here just to see if I can create a bit of dialogue and a bit of conversation with you, the viewers. The reason I'm going on to YouTube is that I know some people don't use Facebook, some people don't use TikTok, some people don't use X, some people don't use fucking Plenty of Fish. I trust Plenty of Fish more when they say there's some kind of slut living 3 miles away from me than they do our politicians sitting in Stormont. And that was a joke. Don't go on Plenty of Fish. Stop. Stop. Feel late. Oh, a bright light. Icon. There's our bro Icon. I was sort of hoping I'd maybe get that hooking up with you again. Never come on to YouTube because no, you don't do that or Facebook, CIA stuff. Not many people use the old TikTok Chinese communist platform.